What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This match will be a match in my IS-8, and it will be a standard battle on Erlenberg, right? This is Erlenberg? No, this is Erlenberg. Yeah, there we go. They're both Bergs. You know, it doesn't make that big of a difference. Now, this match at my IS-8, I'm gonna be honest, I can't really recall what happened. All I remember, well, what I do know is how many kills I got, because I do label every replay I'm going to record. I gave a brief kind of synopsis of the end results in the title that I retitle it in the file name. But the only other comment besides the number of kills was by the skin of my teeth. So we'll see what happens, and like I said, I don't quite recall what happens. Yeah, happens. And the word now has lost all meaning to all of us. There's actually an expression for that, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, so as you can see, not too many forces of mine heading to the north, but a lot of us going down this, you know, this 0 line, this 9 line, moving to intercept the enemy. Now, this is a pretty common thing to see for standard battle on Erlenberg, especially for the northern spawn. You typically get an overabundance of tanks pushing south and not enough pushing north. So, well, I guess it's not really north, it's pushing, it's across the top pushing westward, but yeah. Anyway, an enemy medium tank, first tank of the match, spotted to the north. And me, I'm kind of just sitting up on this hill, waiting for an enemy tank. Oh, I remember this match now. You guys are gonna love this one. Anyway, I'm just... I loved it. Anyway, I'm sitting up here waiting for enemy tanks to be spotted to the south as they try to run across that open field. And I am hugging this building, making sure enemy artillery doesn't ruin my day. There are 2 medium tanks spotted in the center. I'm pulling out to try and get a shot off on them. You will see I have a very nice line of sight here, but my round goes wild and to the left. Enemy tanks to the north. We're doing rather well for ourselves. A tier 9 and a tier 8 eliminated at this point. So doing pretty well, up by 2 tanks, and there we lost our first tank, but it's only a tier 7. So one of our lower tiers, one of our less important tanks of the match. Now the enemy team playing very defensively in the south, and here's where my team makes a crucial mistake. Well, I shouldn't say they all. This is even a bigger mistake. They push the south, but one at a time, making themselves easy targets. That KV5 is going to get himself killed very shortly here. But like I was saying, making themselves easy targets to be picked off one by superior numbers. Rather than pushing as a unit, they're pushing in a line and just trickling in, letting the enemy tanks get free kills. There goes that KV5. We have that medium tank in the center. I'm kind of concerned about protecting our artillery against that Lorraine that just blitzed up, but he's still on the other side of the river. He's moving to the north to engage, and that was kind of a panic move on his part. He saw the number of tanks that got spotted on our team in the south, and here I'm going to try and shoot him and finish him off, but as you can see, I was just a hair late. That Lorraine getting killed by artillery, and here I'm concerned about this M46 again blitzing our lines and spotting our artillery, which I would love to prevent. But as you can tell, I don't really have a line of sight on him, and I got a little paranoid there, thinking artillery had spotted me. Our team pushing the north a bit more in unison than they were pushing the south. Our south push has been completely defeated, and you can tell we've lost our advantage. We are now losing by a significant margin. Now, it could be worse. It is still winnable, but at the same time, it is uncomfortable. This M26 getting pegged by artillery, well, not really pegged, but splashed, making him a one-shot for me. Our northern push seeming to do fairly well for itself. It's unison, at least. It is a concerted effort, and our team is actually pushing in a line. There goes that M26 to apparently a Tiger 2 in the south, you know, having that nice little line of sight. The M26 wasn't even aware that Tiger 2 had a clear line of sight on him, resulting in his death. Me, I see this low, and I recognize that I'm going to have to reposition a little if I'm going to want to help my team. I've been kind of useless up until this point. I don't believe I've dealt a single point of damage. I've tried, but I have not been successful. I've fired, I think, 3 shots, maybe 4 at max at this point, and really my team is making up some of the distance. That M26 hill helped us out. We're now down by only 1 tank, so it isn't too bad, but at the same time we are still losing, and I want to see if I can do anything to change that. Clearly, I have no shots on that KV-4 or T-34. The south is getting pushed a little here. I'm not quite sure what that is. I see this low, however, and I quickly think he is a priority target. Doing something a little foolish here, making myself a bit exposed to artillery. I do recognize that, which is why I pulled back to kind of dodge any inbound arty shots. Here, I'm going to take a shot at where that Tiger II was, or I would have had he not been destroyed by that low. So the enemy team, now they're even with us, and we have definitely made this up. You know, we are losing again. There we go. Down by that other tank, a T-34 killing our T-34, and I want to eliminate this low, make the playing field a little bit even again, but I'm blitzing forward very recklessly here. I'm going to get shot by this low, and he will hit my track ammo and my ammo rack, and I get pegged by artillery. No, I get pegged by that 704, I believe. There's artillery right there, tracking me, making me think I am done. I am certainly dead, but luckily that other artillery round missed, and I'm hoping I repair my track in time to get away from this Object 704, bouncing the shell from that 704. I don't even know. Well, I do know, but I can't even find the proper words to describe just how lucky that is and how happy that made me. That 704 would have finished me off there had I not bounced that shell. And now I'm playing a lot more cautiously. That rush ahead like that without really knowing where that 704 was and going out in the open so artillery could spot me like that when I should have known that low was there. I spotted him earlier. I knew he was in the city around that area, but I blitzed forward anyway in an eager attempt to really shoot that other tank in the south, which I believe he's still alive. I can't recall. But anyway, we are down by one tank still, and I think we're about to lose another one here very shortly. That Object 704 being a very formidable force in the south. I do not want to push the southern area anytime too soon, but here I'm kind of just keeping my nose out so I can spot the low should he decide to show himself, and there he is. So I'm gonna get a free shot right here. That's exactly what I want to do. That low is now a one shot for me, not a guaranteed one shot, but a likely one shot, a greater than 50% chance. You know, if I flip a coin, I'm probably gonna win type of situation. But still, that low doesn't want to come out any more than I do. And I believe enemy artillery is going to try and start shelling me at this point. But I'm feeling really uncomfortable about our situation, especially with the T-34 and that other heavy tank up to the north. Two heavy tanks up to the north. We really don't have the forces to stop that, especially since we just lost our meal right there, the AC meal 48. And there goes our T-54 as well. So we have a T-34 and a KV-4 to the south, pushing that bridge with nothing there to protect our artillery. We are in a very bad position. This low poking his tank out and getting himself eliminated. Finally, I get a kill for the match, actually making myself useful in eliminating that low. But here, I'm kind of trying to not get myself shelled by artillery and not hit by that T-34 on the ridge. I'm hoping, I know for a fact that Object 704 has not pushed in the south. We have two heavy tanks down there, making sure that nothing is going to come up sneaking behind me. One tank down there, that Tiger II, just got eliminated by the Panther, making our loss even more likely at this point. This KV-4, I don't really have too much of a shot on him. I take what little shot I do have and I just bounce off his turret. That's a pretty common occurrence. This T-34 crossing the bridge, I want to see if I can get a shot on him. He is in a position to where I can, but I'm just gonna have to shoot at where he was. I do miss. I know that from later spotting him, but artillery trying to ruin my day. Like I said, I'm trying to get to the north to defend our artillery because our forces in the north did that push a little too much, just like our forces in the south kind of funneled in and got themselves eliminated. So my team in a poor position, not really likely that they're going to win this. The M12 having one last act of defiance there against the T-34, making him a potential one-shot, but not too likely. The odds are not really too much in my favor, considering my average damage is 440. So again, I'm just pushing forward, trying to eliminate both these T-34s, and that KV-4, I know where he is or where he was, which is to my left. So that's one reason I'm not driving out there. I am trying my very best to shoot at this T-34. I hit nothing but dirt. Same for him. That low up on the hill, getting a good solid hit on him. I assume that was the low anyway. And here, the T-34 driving out to where I have a much better shot, and I will proceed to eliminate him. Artillery, ruining my day a bit. That KV-4 trying to do that same thing. I'm angling my armor to make sure he can't quite as easily, as well as using all this cover, that barrel, that truck, that car, to my advantage. Doing my best to make sure to shield myself from artillery to the best of my extent. Getting shot in the rear by a bit of a splash from artillery. I didn't take any damage from that though. I don't really quite know what happened there. I can only assume it was artillery, but it didn't do anything. As simple as that. So right here, T-34 and a KV-4 moving in on me, as well as artillery bearing down on my position. This T-34 will push up and he's going to try and take me out. I will track him, almost kill him, and I'm trying to keep my armor angled, which is a poor decision actually when you consider the IS-8's armor characteristics. And the T-34 completely ignoring me, focusing on that low on the hill, proving to be his death. I realized I was on fire. I used my fire extinguisher, surviving with 14 health. Now my ammo rack is hit yet again. I have no repair kit. My tracks are damaged. My radio is gone. My fuel is also damaged, which doesn't have too much of an impact. Let's face it, I'm near death. That has nothing to do with how horribly I'm going to die. Anything's going to kill me at this point. That KV-4 bouncing another one of my shots. And artillery trying to ruin my day. Even the slightest splash from artillery will kill me. My heart was pounding at this point. Like I said, I titled this by the skin of my teeth in my replays, and you can see why. 14 health, half my tank modules are damaged, and I am surrounded by artillery and tanks. That 704 brawling with that E-75 to the south. You know, theoretically, that E-75 should be able to handle that 704, especially with the low moving into a position to help fire support him from the top. And I look down there, I see the E-75 can survive one hit from that 704, and that 704 is a one hit for that E-75. Apparently the E-75 spotting that GW Panther, getting a kill on that, and the 704 being a one-shot. I think it's a guaranteed, you know, victory in the south. I think we're about to make up lost ground. And yes, I'm keeping an eye on my mini-map while I do this, so in case that KV-4 is spotted, I can quickly aim forward. That's one reason why I have my gun aiming that way. Tiger 2 talking a bit of trash to that E-75, saying, I bet he's afraid of his own shadow too. But I can't blame that E-75 for being afraid of that 704 gun, but at the same time, the meal makes a good point. The longer he sits there, the more he makes himself a target for artillery. He really just needs to go out there, take that one hit from the 704, and then finish the 704 off. He is guaranteed to kill that 704 in a straight up brawl. There are two methods of fighting this game, really. There's brawling, which is where you're both out, basically out in the open, shooting each other until one of you dies. And then there's the cover-based system, the peekaboo system, as I like to call it, where one of you pops out and you both kind of take a shot at each other, and you kind of play the game of drive out and shoot and fall back, and you try to bounce shots, and it's a lot. That game drags things out. That playstyle is a bit more annoying, a bit more tactical, but it definitely takes a longer time for anything to actually happen. There we go. The low. Wow, the low finishing off that 704. The E-75 in a good position to just push across that southern bridge and eliminate that enemy artillery, which I would greatly appreciate at this point. I don't want to die to Artie, do you? No, that's just something you never want to happen. That KV-4 moving across, but, you know, spotting him a little too late. I'm hoping to God I have not been spotted, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't die. That KV-4, judging by how he stopped, I'm guessing he did spot me. And right here, I have the enemy's IS-8 on their team moving to engage me. Actually, he was, but now he's moving south to engage the E-75. The E-75 should be able to handle him, although I did not catch what that IS-8's health was at. Now, I'm going to enter in, yeah, theoretically, that E-75 should be able to handle that IS-8, no problem whatsoever. And right here, the KV-4's been spotted, and we're going to have it out right here. I will finish him off. And here, I'm going to drive forward a bit. And I'm trying, now I'm guessing where artillery is. I'm looking on the map where I believe artillery to be, and then I back up. I basically stayed there for as long as I thought artillery had a spot on me, and then when I believed I wasn't spotted anymore, I moved. I can't recall if artillery fired around there, but I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm moving to engage this IS-8 to the south and help my E-75 ally. I will take a shot right here, hitting them. Right here, I'm saying maybe that E-75. Oh wait, no, that out of shells maybe comment was directed towards the artillery. I was expecting myself to not. That's why I thought I survived the E-75 getting that kill on that IS-8, even though my shot just apparently got absorbed by spaced armor. And here we go. It's going to be a draw because simply that enemy artillery just back in their base. Yes, it was a good game, but you want to know what? If that E-75 had been a bit ballsier, had a bit more guts, and went after that 704 sooner and crossed that bridge and went for their artillery, it's quite possible we could have won this. But as you can see, that didn't happen. So there are times in the match to be aggressive, especially when you're running low on time and you have tanks in the way back that you know if you die, they're still going to live and it's going to draw out anyway. You should be aggressive at that point. Now, not stupid. You should still be reasonably cautious in your actions, but you need to really be pushing and looking for enemies to take out. And once you find them, you need to be in their face as much as possible, again, without being stupid, and try to kill them. So that E-75 definitely not being as aggressive as he should have been. And here we go. Good experience and credits for a tie, for a draw. Killing 4, not really damaging anything else. They don't count to get a damage. You have to damage the tank. Even if it says they're hit, if it gets absorbed into space armor and they don't take any damage from it, yeah. Anyway, I took 8 hits, 10 of 16 shots hitting the target. And Battle Hero going to that low. Is that the low? Yes, it is the low that survived on our team. So doing very well for himself. Anyway, surviving barely with 14 HP. That was a rather exciting match for me. And I hope you enjoyed it too. Now, anyway, this will be a back-to-back, so catch me in a second, and I will be reviewing the, commentating the next gameplay, replay thing. Yes, catch me later. Alright, I am back. Now, you guys may be noticing, FPS dropped there for some reason. Please bear with it. Hopefully it goes away here in a second. If not, I'll pause. But anyway, this is going to be an encounter battle on Ensk, and yeah, I might have to fix it to where this... I'm only getting 15 frames per second here for some reason. Anyway, we'll see if it goes away. I digress. This is an encounter battle on Ensk, and this was actually my first match in my ELC AMX. Now, I only played 10 rounds in my ELC AMX. Why 10 rounds, you ask? Well, yeah, that's kind of just how many rounds it took for me to use free XP to get my AMX 12 done. So... yeah, anyway, I'm gonna pause and we'll be right back. Because, obviously, I mean, 15 frames per second isn't gonna cut it. I need to figure out what's causing this. Alright, we're back and it's fixed. I just simply stopped and restarted the recording. I don't know what changed, but something did. Anyway, as you can see, I pushed down this railroad track and I quickly realized this was a bad idea. Running into a KV-1S and a Panzer IV, I am swerving back and forth and realizing how much I love the speed of the ELC AMX, how maneuverable the French tanks are. I'm going to take a shot at this KV-1S, hitting him for a decent amount of damage, and here I start to swerve. I realize how bad of a position I'm in, and the chance that he can kill me in one shot. The KV-1S completely missing my tank. Like I said, this was my first match in my ELC AMX. I didn't really know how it played, and here I go, swerving again, back and forth, trying to make sure I don't die, dodging around from the EZ-8, realizing just how fast this thing backs up, but taking a very hard hit from that KV-1S, surviving with 18 health, that EZ-8 missing me again because of my serpentine pattern. Now, for those of you not familiar with that term, serpentine basically means you move like a snake. You go back and forth. You just, do exactly what I was doing. Yeah, and I also realized this match, the ELC AMX, functions much like a tank destroyer. Here I'm realizing my gun doesn't turn more than like 10 degrees to either side. So that's the whole me looking back and forth thing right there. I'm wondering what is up with this tank. It is so weird, but at the same time, I love its speed. I have never played a French tank before, so this was me figuring out just how quickly this thing actually moves. And as you can tell, I'm being a little reckless with it. I mean, it's my first match. I'm not too concerned about what I do. And at the same time, I feel like I'm in a position right here because of my speed and how small I am to take the shot and quickly get out of there without dying. Although right here, I do recognize the fact that, first of all, my shell's going to hit that wall. That wasn't planned, obviously. But that KV-1S is coming up, so I will use my speed to get out of there. Again, learning to love how quickly this thing moves. Hitting that truck, that wasn't really all that intentional, but I am moving around to flank this KV-1S and help that Panzer IV in this situation. Will I be able to really do much? Probably not, especially right here. I realize that that KV-1S is really in a spot I can't help my Panzer IV, but at the same time, I want to be in a position in case that KV-1S moves out and after him. So I'm just kind of playing cautiously but aggressively at the same time. This was something I was trying to do. KV-2 derping that ELC AMX, but that KV-1 killing our Panzer IV right there. Our team up by 3 kills, although the position I'm in is very poor. That T-49 getting eliminated, and here I want to support this KV-2, help him in this battle with the KV-1, but I'm going to back up and kind of get myself into a position where I won't get myself killed in the process. So right here, I feel comfortable helping my KV-2 from this position. It's a good fallback supporting position. Playing the ELK a bit TD-ish almost, because this is a spot I'd go in as if I was a TD. Here I recognize I've shot on that KV-1. I take the shot and miss. Again, this was my first battle. My crew was not trained up at all. I don't spend gold on my crew. I only spend credits. So I will get them to that initial 75, 80%, you know, whatever it might be. If you hear that beeping in the background, that's because food is ready. I'm going to ignore that because I believe it won't burn, but anyway. Enough about my personal life. You didn't come here for that. You came here for tank battles and things blowing up and me commentating it. So, yes, the KV-2 eliminating that KV-1, but now he has a KV-1S coming up on his flank. Though the KV-1S completely ignoring him, going after that Leopard and going after me. But my speed is a little too much. He ignores me, which is going to prove to be his demise right here. I'm going to wait for the shot, and bam, there we go, killing a KV-1S, getting my first kill of the match, and really proving to that KV-1S, maybe he shouldn't have ignored me. The ELC AMX, even though I only played 10 battles in it, I did love it. Now, like I said, it's a bit of an odd tank. It moves really fast. Its turret only turns so much. It functions more like a tank destroyer in the way you have to make yourself fight enemy tanks. You can't really circle around them. You have to make sure your front is facing them. But at the same time, I was able to work it pretty well. Now, I did get Mastery Badge Ace Tanker in my first 10 matches. I got Ace Tanker in those first 10 matches I played with it. And actually in this battle, I got Mastery Badge second class. So I won't be able to show you that, but I do have the screenshot, which I will put up after this battle. There we go. Eliminating those tanks, I got 2 kills for myself. The enemy team trying to do a base capture at this point, which if you look at the mini-map, we have tanks in all positions around the map. Well, tanks, kind of. Artillery there, but we do have a full surround pretty much on this capture point, and all that's left are the M4 variants, the EZ2 and the EZ8, and we are going to basically ruin their days. The EZ2 completely exposing his rear to me. I will take that opportunity any day. That Leopard charging in there, and he's gonna get himself killed, or not. I think, oh wow, he got in and out of there so quickly that those tanks just didn't take the time to aim at him, or couldn't, or simply did not have the time to aim at them. Taking the shot I had, trying to kill that EZ2, but not quite doing it. The T1 will finish him off, at least I hope he does. Yes, there we go. But that T1 will die to that EZ8. I'm going to take advantage of the situation where that EZ8 is distracted, and I'm going to shoot this, shoot him and get the kill. So 3 kills for me. 2 of them tier 6s as a tier 5 light tank. So that will get me a good amount of experience for a tier 5 light tank and a good amount of credits. And like I said, I got Mastery Badge second class from this, my first round. I detected just half the enemy team there, pretty much. And yeah, sure, I was a bit inaccurate, 5 for 9, what can you do? And I took 1 hit that almost killed me, barely surviving with 18 health. So in case you have not figured it out, Yes, I kind of said the name of the video title. Yeah, whatever you want to call that. In this, but yeah, both tanks barely surviving. There's the common theme. I'm trying to do that for my replays when I do back-to-backs. I mean, do you guys like it? I don't, or do you guys just plain not care? If I were you, I probably wouldn't care. Anyway, yeah. So what do you think for my first battle in the ELC AMX? Pretty good if I do say so myself. And I'd just like to take a moment right here to point out the fact that I did end up getting Mastery Badge Ace Tanker within my first 10 matches. Now, I didn't quite record this as soon as I got it, so this is just a screenshot, by the way, so I can't go around and click anything. But, yeah, so like I said, I played all of 10 matches in my LKMX and managed to get Ace Tanker in those 10 matches. Just saying, French tanks and me apparently seem to get along. Anyway, if you like this gameplay commentary thing, hit that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, this has been stop. If you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Emails in the description. 8.0 replays starting sometime next week. If you aren't sure if it's been next week already, well, is this a recent video? And also, there is that little upload date in the description. Just saying. Anyway, this has been Spang, and I'm signing off.